It's time to build momentum, to interrupt and end race-based hatred and violence.
Hey everybody, it's Tracy Brown, and it is time for another dive into how can we build momentum to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. Whew. I am so glad that I have committed to take a few minutes, at least once a week, and do something or commit to something or to think about something that helps me renew my commitment to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. By the way, if this is your first exposure to the Momentum series, it is a 15-minute-ish episode or opportunity to really think about one tip, one trend, one idea, one action that can be taken to demonstrate commitment to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. And that is connected to the Facebook group, What is Mine to Do? And that's the question we are constantly asking ourselves. What is mine to do to interrupt and end race-based hatred and violence? Now, I always mention this again in case there's someone, it's their first time ever being exposed. The work that I do with organizations and leaders all over the country is about all of the ways that we are different from one another and how to use all of the different unique cultures and experiences and skills and backgrounds that all of us bring. So I work with clients on inclusion strategy, and in that work really do have the opportunity to look at many, many different aspects of diversity and many, many aspects of how, as leaders or as providing customer service, we can make our differences work in a positive way for us. But the What is Mine to Do Facebook group is specifically focused on the impact of race and racism and race relations and what we can do in our individual lives, in addition to whatever we might choose to do with community organizations or political organizations around the topic of race, racism, and race-based hatred and violence. So this Momentum series is connected to specifically to interrupting and ending race-based hatred and violence. Okay, all the basics done. What is the topic today? So today is a task. Today you get a homework assignment that's a task. And I'm going to give you a little bit, maybe 5 minutes of the background of how I came to assign this task to myself. And hopefully you will take on the challenge as well. Last week, I was introduced to an amazing documentary, The Eternal Song. And in this documentary, the premise of the documentary is that there is much for us to learn from indigenous cultures around the world, even though much of what we can learn from indigenous cultures around the world has been stolen or hidden or intentionally, or the attempt has been made to intentionally remove the wisdom and the culture and the achievement of many, if not all, of the indigenous cultures. But the documentary does a really good job of making it clear that before colonization, wherever that happened in the world, there were existing cultures, the indigenous cultures that were beautiful and strong. And the myth of colonization that, it improves people or civilizes people who already had a civilization. The documentary does just an excellent job. And so I was introduced to that last week, and I got to see the entire film, and it was quite moving. And I put a link to the trailer in the chat. I hope you'll watch the trailer and then maybe go and seek out the eternalsong.org website, because you too can view the trailer. I'm sorry, the entire documentary and related documentaries that are planned in the future. But I don't want to just report on the Eternal Song. It's just that I have to share that with you so that you'll understand why I am taking up a challenge this week and inviting you to join me. I saw the film with a group of people, and we had the opportunity to talk about it afterwards for a too short period of time. And one of the questions that I'm going to ask at least 5 people. I'm asking you to commit to ask at least 1 or 2 people. What pain have you experienced as a result of racism in your life or racism in society? What pain have you experienced as a result of colonization, as a result of racism? And the reason I want you to ask this question is because I don't want you making up stories in your mind about how you think different groups have been impacted. And in fact, even if you've read something and read a lot on the subject, you've heard a summary or you've heard someone else's um, experience, I want you to ask people you actually know. And I'm going to ask at least 5 people because I'm going to intentionally look for people I know who come from different cultural backgrounds and have the conversation because I'm curious. And I want you, if you only ask one person, that's fine. But if you ask more than one, try to be sure they're from different cultural groups. In the conversation that I was privileged to be a part of, we had people who are people of color share about the pain they experienced as a result of being treated as if they were less than, or being told or of stories of their grandparents or great grandparents, and how their stable life was turned inside out as a result of racism, and how that then the trauma of that has lived into future generations up until current time. There were also people who identify as white who shared the pain that they experience in recognizing that people like them, who were racially or ethnically like them, wiped out entire civilizations or cultures, or um, intruded upon existing cultures and took over without being welcomed or appreciated and causing turmoil for power. And so please don't assume that because someone is white, they don't have a story to tell about the pain. So that's our focus. And it is a challenge because we like to, gloss over things, and we like to focus on, well, things are so much better now. And we like to really show up and pretend that, oh, we've fixed a lot of what was wrong, or that couldn't happen again, in the 21st century. But if we were to pay attention and look around the world, it's still happening. So let's build some momentum by deepening our understanding of the actual impact in the lives of everyday people. And when we're willing to talk about it, we can really get to a place where, number one, we know we're not making up a story. Number two, we can begin to have a conversation about what kind of world do we want to make going forward. And number three, when we have that kind of shared vision, we can begin to plan what we do individually and collectively so that we can create a different future for generations to come. So I don't know if you will take on this challenge, but that's part of the purpose of the Momentum series, to help us build momentum by learning new information, by sharing what our experiences are and have been, and by moving forward with courage to experience or to create something new. So, my name is Tracy Brown. That's this week's Momentum. And I hope that you'll join me over at What Is Mine to Do Facebook group. And I will see you again next week, right here on Momentum.